Thank you for attending the Canvas Middle School Gradebook Training, and thank you for choosing to use our new learning management system to improve student learning for all students while opening up their opportunities and their learning without limits. In the Oshkosh Area School District, we are working towards making sure that all of our students are college, career, and community ready while building community through education. And that means we were all pulling in the same direction to ensure our students' successes. By using a learning management system and possibly using the Canvas gradebook, we can increase communication and increase the feedback to the learner using an electronic format. When we do that, we are focusing on being college, career, and community ready in 3 different areas: life and career skills, career exploration, financial literacy, while maintaining a foundation of academics. I'm first going to talk a little bit about the philosophy of life and career skills, and then how grading, reporting, and record keeping and standards-based learning environment all fit together. So, why life and career skills? I think by now you absolutely know that one, the picture on the left that you're looking at is not my first day of teaching in the Oshkosh Area School District, but it looked pretty similar. Students were in rows, the teacher was up at the front, but if you look to the right, that's an image that looks like our classrooms today. And with the middle schools being one-to-one, we really need to talk about how do we make sure that our use of technology is about the learning and it's not about screen time. And that's where life and career skills and giving feedback, explicitly teaching them, comes into play. When we talk about life and career skills, we want to explicitly teach and give feedback to flexibility and adaptability, initiative and self-direction, social and cross-cultural skills, productivity and accountability, leadership and responsibility. And we can do that through our Infinite Campus gradebook and record it and give feedback and communicate it, and we can do that in Canvas. Your trainers today are going to help you set up what works best for you when it comes to life and career skills. But the bottom line is that we want to be giving students feedback and we want to be recording it in the gradebook so that we can communicate with the student and families on how students are doing. Also within the gradebook, one thing that Canvas can help us do is grade, report, and record keep and use Canvas as a communication tool, because that's what a gradebook or a student information system, learning management system does in a standards-based learning environment. It is a communication tool to make sure everything is organized. In the Oshkosh Area School District at the secondary level, we're actually standards referenced versus standards based. If we were standards based, we would be truly standards based. We would be reporting out to our students and our families on each individual standard or a subset of standards. But at this point in time, we are giving a letter grade at reporting times. So because of that, we are using the standards and the scores that students are getting to calculate that letter grade, so we're considered standards reference. We can be secondary proficient standards reference, or we can be secondary points standards reference. But the bottom line in all of this is that when we record keep, when we use a grading system, we are using the learning targets, the standards, or in the case of Canvas, they call the standards outcomes, as a way to communicate, and that's what we're scoring to within the gradebook. When you're using secondary proficient standards reference, it's a systematic way of reporting student achievement using proficiency scores, the 4, 3, 2, 1, perhaps in a rubric. And the academic achievement is reported in a way that is disconnected from compliance behaviors. Think back to we're giving feedback on LCS, and this part of the gradebook is giving feedback on the academics. Students are assessed on a standard based off of different levels of proficiency. Think of in your rubric, and each level has a description of what the student needs to do to earn that level. And each standard is assessed multiple times. By using the gradebook in Canvas and the Learning Mastery gradebook, you can absolutely do this and see a picture of where a student is over time on a particular standard or outcome. Remember, outcomes is the terminology used in Canvas. Secondary points standards reference is a systematic way of reporting student achievement that uses points to report student progress associated with a specific standard. An academic achievement is reported in the gradebook in a way, once again, that's disconnected with compliance behaviors because we're giving feedback on that in LCS. A learning task is aligned to one or multiple standards, and it's used points to give that level of proficiency. Different tasks may be assigned a different number of points, and the learning tasks, once again, are all academic. LCS helps with the behavior and effort pieces of it. So why are we doing this, and why are we talking about standards-based versus standards reference and even looking at using the Canvas gradebook? Well, we are because it's all about, number one, the learning. Our number one priority in the Oshkosh Area Strategic Plan is improving student learning for all. And we know that when we give really high quality feedback to the learner and to the teacher so that they can adjust instruction and the learner can adjust their learning, we know great things can happen. The other thing is about communication to the learner and family. The more specific that we can be in our communication on how a student is progressing on life and career skills or on their academic standards or outcomes, the more opportunity there is for students to improve. So bottom line, the more detailed the feedback and communication, the more likely the learner and teacher will use the feedback and data to improve. And isn't that what we want at the end of the day? Because we know if students are college, career, and community ready, they know how to use that feedback and they know how to use that information to propel them forward to be successful. Thanks for taking the time to listen, and have a great rest of